Hello everyone. This is Mike at Play Favorites. We're a friendly neighborhood toy store located in beautiful Front Royal, Virginia. And today I am here to tell you the history of badminton. Now, you may have asked yourself at one point in your life, why would anyone invent a game and prefix it with the word bad? That's like someone saying, I'm going to invent a game called Badcheckers, or I'm going to make a bad Lego set, or something like that. Bad basketball. Why would anyone want to play the bad version of anything? Well, originally there was just a game called Minton, and this was invented in England back in the Victorian era when people were very prim and proper. Women wore big bonnets, they had dresses with big bustles, everyone is sipping weak tea and eating tasteless scones, and the game of choice back then was simply called Minton, and it was very similar in many ways to the game of cricket. If you're not familiar with the game of cricket, it can take, I think, like several days for one game to be completed. And it's really, I know if you're into it, you probably love it, but for the rest of the world, it's really dull. Now, the way that Minton was played, you had a person with their Minton racket, you had your Minton ball. It looked kind of like this, but of course it wasn't neon because this was the Victorian era when colors were not approved of. Holding the racket between your legs was probably not approved of either. The way the game was played, one player would take the ball, they would serve. They wouldn't serve overhand because that was very vulgar and barbaric. Rather, they would serve underhand, but they wouldn't hit because hitting was also vulgar and barbaric. Instead, they would take the ball and they would put it in a delicate porcelain teacup, usually with a nice floral pattern, but not too ostentatious, not too colorful, because that is also in bad taste. Ostentation is in bad taste. It's too luxurious. It's not puritanical enough. So they would take the ball and put it in a black teacup, or maybe a nice muddy brown, and they would bring the ball over to the net. And then they would pass the ball to their friend on the other side of the net and say, "Dear sir or madam," depending whether you're playing with sir or madam, "please accept this Minton ball from me with kind regards." And the dear sir or madam would say, "Why, thank you very much. Would you care to join me for a spot of tea?" And they would take the ball off of the rackets. They would make an exchange. It went like this, very graceful and delicate. And they would say, "Thank you. Would you care to join me for a spot of tea?" And it was traditional and good form for the person who gave the ball to accept, saying, "Oh yes, please. I would enjoy that very much." Now, of course, the tea would not be taken with cream or sugar. It would just be straight, tasteless, very weak tea with similarly straight, tasteless scones. I can't even pronounce the word scones, whatever. So then they would go inside, they would have their tea, have their lunch, then they would come back and do it all over again. So it was basically an exercise in sipping weak tea and eating tasteless, dried, crumbly pastries. Now you can see why that wasn't a lot of fun, but they had the idea. The spark for something great was there. The seeds for a good game were there. Now, some young ruffians saw people playing that game. They were probably taunting and jeering them, as young ruffians, rapscallions, hooligans, just rambunctious youth are wont to do. And they said, "Oh, I know, we can take that Minton game and turn it into something that is actually good." So while the kind sir and lady and gentleman were in the parlor sipping their weak tea and eating tasteless pastries, the rambunctious youths picked up the Minton racket and the Minton ball, and they started going like this and actually playing their own version of Minton, where they hit the ball. I know, very vulgar, very tasteless, and very bad form, but they would hit the ball back and forth over the net betwixt each other. And sometimes they would even serve overhand like that. It was awful, but it was a lot of fun. However, when the grown-ups came out of the parlor, having finished their weak tea and tasteless pastries, bland, tasteless pastries, they saw those mischievous youths whacking the ball back and forth with reckless abandon. It was awful. And they said, my goodness, that is some badminton right there. And you know what? The name stuck. And you know what else? Minton did not stick, but badminton did stick. And we sell these really fun, super bouncy badminton sets right here at Play Favorites, your friendly neighborhood toy store located in beautiful Front Royal, Virginia. This has been Utter Nonsense. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and have a great day. Toodles.